Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Love. Here again for AEW Dynamite review for August 3rd, 2022. Now we're in August for AEW. But nonetheless, the last couple weeks have been fairly solid for AEW. I mean, the end of the starting from the end of the Jericho A. Kingston barbed wire everywhere match to actually after Rampage, but last week and last night was very good for AEW. Uh, we had the first ever dumpster match for AEW between the Acclaimed and the Gunn Club. We got the Undisputed Elite returning, but in a swift twist. And Adam Cole and the Red Dragon turning on the Young Bucks. Now, we know that the Trios tournament is upcoming and the finals will culminate at All Out. And with the return / betrayal / savior by Hangman and Page, it provides an interesting open book to feud upcoming. And, we still wonder, Kenny Omega, when he gonna come back? He's been out since the Dynamite post Full Gear. And, Tony Khan said he's waiting for Kenny Omega to come back for the trio styles. Well, provides an interesting twist. Hangman Page, possibly Omega. I mean, we'll see with Adam Cole and the Red Dragon. See what's upcoming. We had Jericho versus Yuta in the main event, in which Jon Moxley's AEW World Title shot would be up for grabs in this one for next week in Quake by the Lake in Minnesota. And solid match between the two, and Jericho wins and White Guy won. But Quake by the Lake is getting some interesting turnabouts for next week. So we'll see more. And yeah, it's going to be a good show. Also, before I get into review, I would like to say a happy congratulations to Sean Spears, who one of the guys who has not been on AEW TV in quite a while. Hit the number 2 of MJF. He's been out for a while, so obviously MJF's situation. But it was announced, I believe, yesterday or either yesterday or the day before. But news got around that him and Cassidy Lee, aka the former Peyton Royce of WWE, are gonna have a baby. So congrats to them. You know, wish them the best. I do. I mean, Sean Spears, one of the underrated talents on pro wrestling. You know, the AEW roster is so stacked, but he is one of those presences that is cool and fresh and kind of. You do miss a little, but not as much as, say, Omega or Punk, etc. But you do miss him a bit on AEW TV. But congrats to him. With that, let's get into the review now, shall we? Can this as good and quick as I can. But we start off fresh. We start off hot with Orange Cassidy for Jay Lethal. Very good match to open the show. Orange had the advantage early. He has Suicida. Jay Lethal was trying to crawl up the stage, but Satnam Singh kind of thwarted off Orange Cassidy. Then we see the best friends. Chuck Taylor was literally on Trent Barretta's shoulders, and of course the two of them are taller than Satnam Singh, but that does show you how tall Satnam Singh is. But nonetheless, after that, well, cheesiness, we got back to the action. So, Jay Lethal was working on the leg of Cassidy. He had a dragon screw, drove the steps into his ankle at one point. Orange fired back, hit a diving DT, followed with a tilt whirl for a near fall. Later in the match, he had beach rake, 4-2. Jay Lethal went for the figure four, but Orange quickly rolled through the ropes, which, by the way, Jay Lethal was part of Ric Flair's quote-unquote last match. And, kind of honoring to one of his mentors and nonchalant mention to that event. So, Orange tried to fire back. Lethal a kick to the injured leg of Orange. Hit the lethal injection. 1, 2, 3. Jay Lethal gets the victory over Orange Cassidy. Afterwards, Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh came out to interview Jay Lethal. Lethal talked about Wardlow's interference last week. Wardlow said, well, if you're going to try to save Orange, you better come out now. Otherwise, you're going to end his career. So the best friends, they came out, back out. And then we hear Wardlow's music right behind, and he fends off Jay Lethal's group. Jay Lethal, so Sanjay Dutt proposed that at Bell of the Belts, it will be Jay Lethal versus Wardlow. 1-1 for the TNT title. And Wardlow accepted. Welcome to Wardlow's world. And it doesn't matter what time, what place, he will whoop that ass. So, Wardlow versus Jay Lethal, Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts 3 is looking to be more important than the previous two, which you like to see. Women's title on the show, TNT title on the show, Ring of Honor World title on the show, a much better matchup than last time. But yeah, we got some good matches lined up for Saturday. Undisputed Elite were out there. Adam Cole, Red Dragon made their return. The Bucks were out there as well. This was a different segment. So, Adam Cole took the mic. He touted that he's not medically cleared, but he did say that they still have business to attend to. So, he addressed loyalty. And I assume part of this was probably because of the talks made around that, well, now that Triple H is in charge of WWE, perhaps more people of AEW will leave AEW for WWE. And obviously Tony Khan addressed that and not. I think there's more to it. So Cole talked about loyalty. He mentioned how it's about fighting along your brothers. He said that he came to AEW because of the Young Bucks. And he addressed the Trios tournament, the upcoming Trios tournament. He looked at the Bucks and said, I apologize. I would love for the Undisputed Elite to win it. But unfortunately, he's not medically cleared. Kyle's not medically cleared. And he said the Bucks can't do the Trios tournament. So they look confused, and Adam Cole changed his words. And you can kind of sense it. Just kind of sense it. Adam Cole said to the Bucks, you'll not be physically able to do the tournament. So Bobby Fish came up from behind on Nick Jackson, gave him a sleeper. O'Reilly had a chop block to Matt. Cole hit a super kick, stomped on the leg of Matt Jackson. They wedged a chair on the head of Matt Jackson and looked like they were trying to end his career. So all of a sudden we hear Hangman Page's music hits and he storms the ring with a pipe, thwarts off Adam Cole and the Red Dragon, and thus for the save of the Young Bucks, Hangman and Matt shook hands in the ring. Could we get Hangman and the Bucks reuniting for the Trios tournament? I don't know, but it's certainly a thought. Is them the return of one Kenny Omega, I don't know, but it's certainly a thought. Either way, that was a fun segment. Some boy was crying in the middle of the crowd. I mean, that was just cherry on top of the segment, but yeah. Jon Moxley, he was backstage. He told about the match later to determine his opponent for next week. Told next week, quick by the lake. He knows both well. He says if Yuta wins, cool. He says if Jericho wins, cool. But he said that either way next week, they have to know they better bring it. Because this is life, and it's not a game to him. Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Still starting off good. So, they showed earlier in the day that Tony Schiavone was trying to interview Christian in the parking lot, and all of a sudden a car rams fast near the direction of Christian and Tony, and out of the car rushes Jungle Boy, who tries to rush for Christian Cage, but is held off by security, and it's announced that he was not supposed to be in the arena, so security held him back as Christian tended to talk trash to Jungle Boy. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter for Thunderstorm, Tony Storm, and Thunder Rosa. Very good tag team match between all four women. You know, Jamie Hayter, I think she provides a relief to the division. The reason I say that is because of this situation with Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. You know, she needs to be built up more. Britt Baker, we know she's the number one star of the women's division. Tony Storm, you know, trying to build her up, but the story is Thunder Rosa is the women's champion, and you want to try to still redeem her reign. So, nonetheless, this good tag team match. Rosa was getting beaten down. She has stunner on Hayter. She tagged in Tony. She had Alabama Slam on Hayter. They went for a double suplex, no avail. And then after that, it was just like guns blazing, move after move. Britt and Rosa were jawing back and forth, you know, etc. Hayter won with a sliding lariat on Hayter out of nowhere for the win. Jamie Hayter gets the win over Tony Storm. Britt Baker actually took a shot at Rosa after the bell. That was a little different, but it was announced that Battle of the Belts, it will be Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. That should be an interesting match as well for Saturday. So, they showed a little video package of Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara talking about they're about to get married. All of a sudden, we hear Eddie Kingston's voice, and he interrupts this video package, and he says, "Congrats, Sammy. No one cares." So Kingston said he was sent a contract, and it's signed. Tell Sammy to check his mail, and see him at the pay-per-view. Challenges Sammy Guevara to a match at All Out. Should be interesting. Should be good. I would like to see it. Powerhouse Hobbs. Or first of all, so Taz, he was livid after the events of last week. He said that now all the guys are on their own. Team Taz is done. So out came Powerhouse Hobbs, and boy was his entrance much better. I mean, you want to present a guy good, and this is the start of something good with Powerhouse Hobbs, and interesting. So he went one-on-one Red Jones. Red Jones, a beefy dude as well, but short little match here. He had Oklahoma Stampede on Jones. He told Ricky Starks, this is you, Ricky. So he had big lariat on Jones. 1, 2, 3. And Powerhouse Hobbs gets the easy victory. Out came Ricky Starks. Stormed to the ring looking for revenge on last week. Starks was ringing shots on Hobbs early. Referee was trying to hold him back. He threw the referee aside, was overzealous, and took a huge spinebuster by Hobbs. And right away, it looks like you're going to get a feud between Hobbs and Starks in the future. Well, I mean, Hobbs' presentation last night was great in that entrance. Miro, he had a little vignette talking about the circumstances with his God and the House of Black, telling his confusion as to what's next. Then we got to Darby Allin. Darby Allin had a little promo talking about Brody King. He actually tattooed himself literally on his palm. And he told Brody King that the message on his palm will be the last thing he sees before he shuts the lid on his coffin. Next week, Quake by the Lake in Minnesota. Darby Allin versus Brody King, coffin match. So, there you go. Christian Cage went along with Matt Hardy. This was a decent match between these two vets. Obviously, surrounding the feud with Christian and Jungle Boy. So early on, Matt was shoved into the steel steps headfirst by Christian Cage. And Cage went knee first, and then hitting Matt Hardy stuffed up against the steel steps. And they were playing that into the fact for later in the match. Hardy used superplex for a near fall, went for a middle turnbuckle elbow. Christian fired back with diving headbutt. Matt hit side effects for a near fall. Matt tried earlier, but he moved the timekeeper's table to the middle of the outside of the ring. He put Christian on it, going for an elbow off the apron to Christian through the table. But then Christian moved out of the way. Hardy went all by himself through the table. Rolled back in the ring by Christian. Kill switch 1, 2, 3. And Christian wins. And decent match between two. Out came Luchasaurus, who is still using his heel music and still wearing his heel attire. He rushed down, and Jungle Boy stormed to the ring, chased off Christian, and there's that. So it's so interesting. Luchasaurus is still using the music, still wearing the attire. You know, it's still a bit of an open book for the feud. So you wonder. Daniel Garcia was backstage with Tony Schiavone. He said it was the biggest win ever in AEW. Said that he's the best technical sports entertainer of all time. And he called up Ryan for whenever his head is healthy again, so he can slay him again. I think they're 1-1 now in AEW as far as singles competition. So, the rubber match has to happen, or the trilogy. Ethan Page. So, for those who watched Rampage, you'll know that Ethan Page was not happy about his status, and he said he hates it here when delivering the Eagles' edge to Leon Ruffin. So Ethan Page had a microphone in the middle of the ring, again, by himself. No Dan Lambert, no ATT, no Scorpio Sky. Page talked about how he's not on the bus, when he's going to get his TV time, when is he going to deserve more, because he touted he deserves more, deserves better. People started cheering. Stokely Hathaway made his way down to the ring, and Page was cutting the rest of his promo and on the fans, saying that they don't line up for his t-shirts. They line up for Orange Cassidy's gear. So finally, when Paige noticed Stokely Hathaway in the ring, Stokely said something in his ear, offered up his business card, and Paige gladly took it. So Lee Moriarty and now Ethan Page, Stokely Hathaway is trying to take under his wing, it appears. The first ever dumpster match in AEW. This was I enjoyed this. You know, the Acclaimed are great. The Gun Club are getting better the more I see them. But this is good. So, during the Gun Club's entrance, the Acclaimed came out with a trash can, leveled Billy Gunn, took care of him. So it'd be 2-on-2, and they leveled the Gun Club as well. Max Caster still got to do his rap on the Gun Club and sell a line about Vince McMahon. Just hilarious. Bowen's eyes said it all. But yeah, this match was good. So Austin Gunn used the lid of the dumpster to beat down on Bowens, actually, who was draped over in a dumpster. It looked like they were gonna win closely, but the Acclaimed thwarted it. So Colton, there was a steel grate set up near the stage area. Colton, he had a suplex on Caster on this steel grate as the dumpster was back up on the stage area. So then he hit Bowens with a Colt 45 on the stage area. Bowens sold it like everything, like G's it had to her on the stage. So there was a table set up right in front of one of the tunnels. So Austin looked like he was gonna do an elbow from the top of the tunnel to Bowens through a table. But Bowens lured Colton, blasted him with a trash can. Max Caster came up from behind on the top of the tunnel, launched Austin off the top of the tunnel into the dumpster. So right away, there's one gun in the dumpster. Colton was then set up on the table. Caster then hit the mic drop off the top of the tunnel, threw Colton through this table. Finally, they threw Colton into the dumpster, closed both lids, and the Acclaimed win the first ever dumpster match in AEW. And then paying homage to the New Age Outlaws when they had their dumpster match. I didn't realize it when the match was made on Rampage, but then I realized after going back, they had some issues, but the Acclaimed launched the dumpster off the stage area with the Gun Club inside, and there was that. So the Acclaimed get their victory over the Gun Club. I imagine sometime soon they're going to go for the AEW World Tag Team titles because they deserve it. Main events: Chris Jericho versus Yuta. Quake by the Lake, title shot on the line. This is good. So, Yuta with his wrestling, and first of all, he hit 5 German suplexes in a row on Jericho. Finally went for a near fall, but only got 2. Yuta then went for a 6, but Jericho countered into the walls of Jericho. Yuta fired back. He hit 3 suicidas. Hit high cross body for a near fall. Yuta went for another top rope attack, but met with Codebreaker midair by Jericho for a 2. Yuta was going for some submission. Jericho went for it. Floyd, the Bat. Aubrey took it away. Behind the referee's back, Jericho hit a low blow. Went for the juice effect. Where Yuta went for his high sack pin. Jericho rolled through. Locked in the Lion Tamer on Yuta. Yuta tapped out, had nowhere to go, and Jericho big win over Yuta and gets his shot versus Moxley next week at Quake by the Lake. So Jericho went left the hold. Moxley stormed to the ring or made his entrance. Jericho finally let go. Jericho said, "You finally want the last graduate of the Suar dungeon." He said, "You got it. You want the Lionheart, Chris Jericho, you got it. But I will stretch you and be once again Le Champion." Good stuff. Good episode of Dynamite from last night. As we move towards Quake by Lake next week, Rampage tomorrow. Gonna be so-so. So, might as well talk about it. So, a statement by Tony Khan, Madison Rayne, who was for many years helping the women's division of Impact and wrestled for many years in Impact. She will now take a role in coaching the women's division for AEW. That's good. And he touted that there'll be more solidarity. There'll be more people taking loads off his plate and trying and creative, helping the roster, etc. So that's good for Tony Khan and AEW. And on Rampage, we will see Madison Rayne. So good stuff, which will be live. we'll get a street fight between Keith Lee, Swerve, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese. We'll also get Jon Moxley versus Martin Vance, who apparently won a 20-man battle royal, last eliminating Bully Ray at Ric Flair's last match, I think. So he'll face Jon Moxley on Rampage. And then Battle of the Belts on Saturday. Claudio Castagnoli versus Konosuke Takeshita. Great match. Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. Wardlow versus Jay Lethal. And I think another match will be on there. I'm not sure. But anywho, some good matches lined up for Battle of the Belts. So, speaking of which, I may not be away all day on Saturday. It depends. But if so, I may have a dual review on Sunday. Because either way, I'll have a review on Sunday for Battle of the Belts. But if so, I will talk about Rampage as well. So, anyways, look that forward to in your subscription on Sunday. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you like this review, click the like button, leave a thumbs up, click the description there in the corner, find more videos on the channel. But see you guys this weekend. Be safe. I am Joe True in Love. Peace.